Now, let's go to post-closing trial balance. Ano ba yung post-closing trial balance? Pagkatapos nating maggawa ng closing entries, tsaka pinost natin yung closing entries, ngayon naman, we must prepare post-closing trial balance. Kasi, it proves the equality of debit and credit balances of the open accounts in the ledger. So, katapos nating mag-close, kailangan nating magawa ulit ng trial balance. This is to verify the debit and credit equality. Okay? And it shows the accuracy of adjusting, closing, and balancing of the accounts. Okay? Tinitignan lang dito if balance talaga yung accounts after the closing entries and the post-closing na entries natin. Okay? Now, we'll illustrate magagawa tayo ng sarili nating post-closing trial balance. So, we have here account title, the LF, tsaka yung debit credit. So, we have M. Santos. Tapos, ilalagay na natin dito, post-closing trial balance. And then, we will have the date, which is December 31, 2011. Okay, so we have now the account title and the debit and credit. I-try natin if balance pa rin sila after the closing entries. Okay, so yung cash receivable statement. Now we have the proforma trial balance ng M. Santos Company. Meron na tayong cash accounts receivable. Yung kulang na lang natin dito is yung M. Santos Capital. How to get the ending balance of M. Santos Capital? Balik tayo dito. I-compute natin yung balance ng M. Santos Capital using the T-account approach. So, we have here, ano yung in-entryhan natin dito. Meron siya ditong balance na 300,000, di ba? So, credit tayo ng 300,000 dito. Okay. Tapos, ano yung another entry niya dito? Meron siyang M. Santos Capital na isang credit din, 51,414. Tapos, meron din siyang debit na 25,000. So, if we will update the balance of the accounts, is dapat yung lalabas sa kanya is 300 plus 51414 minus 25,000. Dapat yung lalabas sa kanya is 326414. Ito na yung magsisilbing ending balance ng account niya. Okay? Tingnan nga natin if balance yung trial balance. So, ayan. Balance na yung ating trial balance. I-double roll ko lang to signify that it is already our final answer. Okay? So, makikita natin dito balance yung debit tsaka balance yung credit. It proves, indeed, it proves the equality of the debit and credit after the closing entries natin. Okay, so madali lang po yung post-closing trial balance and even yung closing entries which diniscuss natin kanina. Okay, now let's go to Now, let's go to reversing entries. Ano naman yung reversing entries? Palagi ko siyang naririnig at may mga ibang estudyante na nahihirapan sa reversing entries. Paano mapapadali? Tuturuan ko kayo. Okay, reversing entries are journal entries made at the beginning of the accounting period to reverse or to cancel adjusting journal entries made at the end of the previous accounting period. This is the last step. Inote natin, last step to ng accounting cycle. Ginaganap siya at the beginning of the next accounting period. So, tandaan mo, beginning of the next accounting period, meaning January 1. This is also an optional step in the accounting cycle kasi reversing entries are not necessary, no? Kahit hindi tayo mag-reverse, as long as tama yung ginawa natin the next year, hindi tayo magkakamali or walang mababago or walang mamamali sa ating entries and then sa ating records. Bakit tayo gumagawa ng reversing entries? For me, I think, okay, it is one way of internal control which is to prevent future misstatement. Okay, sa mga future misstatement, baka magkamali and then hindi natin makaligtaan natin and hindi natin ma-adjust muli in the next accounting period. So, that's why meron tayong reversing entries. Okay, after the books, after lahat ng books ay closed, tapos after ng pag-prepare natin ng post-closing trial balance, tapos nag-equal naman sila, like yung ginawa natin, yung next naman natin is reversing entries, okay? Reversing entries, ulitin ko, are made on the first day of the next fiscal period. So, January 1. Now, sa January 1 siya gagawin, di ba? They are made for convenience lang. Sabi ko nga, internal control and to have that consistency in handling accrued and deferral items. Okay, now I will illustrate to you kung paano nagwo-work ang reversing entries or ano ba yung pagkakaintindi mo talaga sa reversing entries. Okay, i-illustrate ko sa iyo paano matutunan yung reversing entries. Sige. These are the adjusting events, di ba? Meron tayong adjusting events, meron tayong accrual, meron tayong deferrals, and meron tayong valuation adjustments. So, itong tatlo, meron silang criteria or characteristics, okay? Coach, related ba to sa reversing entries? Yes, kasi dito natin malalaman kung subject ba siya sa reversing entries, okay? So, in this chart, ito yung method when created. Ito yung ina-analyze natin which will be subject to reversal when created, meaning nung nag-happen yung transaction, okay? So, sa accrual, bakit wala tayong nilagay dito? Kasi wala pang accrual dito. Kasi wala pa naman tayong in-adjust and wala pa tayong in-accrue, okay? While the deferrals, meron siya ditong expense, meron siya ditong deferral of expense, meron siya ditong deferral of income. Okay? Pag sinabi mong deferral of expense tapos expense method yung ginamit niya, this is subject to reversing entries. Bakit? Kasi nag-debit siya ng rent expense, for example, and then credit siya ng cash. Okay? So, debit siya ng expense, credit siya ng cash, diba? When created sa deferrals. And then, sa deferral of income naman, nag-credit kaagad siya ng income, no? When created or yung noong nag-happen yung transaction. Okay, tandaan nyo lang, pag moment of creation or the time of transaction, expense method yung ginamit sa deferral of expense, income method yung ginamit sa deferral of income, subject siya to reversal. While the other valuation adjustments are not reversed. Okay? So, dito ko na-illustrate kung bakit. Kasi, deferrals, unahin na muna natin yung deferrals, di ba? Yung deferrals of expense and deferral of income, dapat asset method and liability method siya when adjusted. Kasi magkakaroon siya ng effect in the next accounting period. Okay, which we will illustrate naman later. Sige. Basta tandaan nyo lang, if the moment na mag-adjust ka or at the time of adjustment, pag deferral of expense, dapat naka-asset method siya when adjusted. And deferral of income, dapat naka-liability method siya when adjusted. Okay? Habang yung accruals naman, all accruals should be reversed. Okay? All accruals when adjusted should be reversed. Kasi hindi naman siya lalabas dito sa when created kasi nga wala pa siya na-accrue or hindi pa siya na-accrue. Okay? While the other valuation adjustments are not reversed. Okay? Kasi magkakaroon ng effect yung accrual and deferrals na naka-asset method tsaka liability method, while the accrual naman magkakaroon siya ng effect in the next accounting period if hindi mo siya reversed. Okay? Ulitin ko, yung reversal is just an optional step. This is just an internal control para meron tayong consistency in the next accounting period ng recording. Okay? So, let's go to illustration para maintindihan natin. Okay, number 1, bad debts expenses, allowance for doubtful accounts. This is an example of adjusting entries na po. Nasa time of adjustments na tayo or when adjusted na tayo na time frame. Okay? When adjusted, ito na po yung mga adjusting entries natin. Kikilalanin natin or tutuklasin natin kung subject ba sila sa reversing entries. Okay? Sige, number 1. Bad debts expenses or allowance for doubtful accounts. It will fall under other valuation adjustments, so this is not reversed. Okay? So, bad debts expenses, 530, not reversed. Diba? Salaries expenses. Ano naman yung salaries expenses? Tingnan natin. Nag-debit siya ng salaries expenses, tapos nag-credit siya ng salaries payable. So, this is an example of accrual of expenses. Okay? Titignan natin, naka-expense method siya, dinebit niya expense, tas credit siya ng payable. Naka-expense method. Subject ba siya sa reversal? Yes, kasi all accruals when adjusted are subject to reversal. Sige, ano yung entry natin dito at January 31? So, i-reverse lang natin ito. Debit tayo ng salaries payable at January 1. Tapos, credit tayo ng rent, salaries expenses. So, sa January 1, debit tayo ng salaries expenses, tapos credit tayo ng, sa January 1, debit tayo ng salaries payable, and then credit tayo ng salaries expenses. Amounting to 940, diba? 940 yung ilalagay natin dito. This is to reverse the adjusting entries natin. Okay? So, ano pa? Unearned rent, tapos credit ng rent revenue. Ano ba yung unearned rent? It is a liability, diba? Tapos nag-credit siya ng rent revenue. So malamang it is a deferral. Pero anong klaseng deferral? Revenue meaning deferral of income. Ano yung ginamit niya as credit? Liability ba or income? Kasi doon natin makikita yung method. Yung credit niya is income, rent revenue. Okay? Pag rent revenue, liability ba yan? Hindi po. Income method yan. So, when adjusted, income method yung ginamit niya, hindi siya subject to reversal. Okay? So, itong items na to, hindi siya subject to reversal. Itong items na to, hindi rin siya subject to reversal. How about the fourth one? Interest expense, tapos interest payable. Malamang it is an accrual, diba? Accrual of what? Accrual of expense kasi interest expense. So, kailangan ba siyang i-reverse, coach? Kailangan kasi all accruals should be reversed. Okay? So, itong accrual na interest expense, we will reverse this at January 1. Okay? So, debit tayo ng interest payable 220. Tapos, credit tayo ng interest expense na 220 din. Okay? Sige. Okay, next naman natin is rent receivable. Tapos, credit siya ng rent revenue sa adjusting entry niya. This is an example of accrual of income. Ang tanong natin, Coach, pwede ba siyang i-reverse? Yes, kasi all accrual should be reversed. So, ang entry natin dito is debit tayo ng rent revenue tapos credit tayo ng rent receivable. Rent revenue. Kasi i-reverse natin yung effect tapos credit tayo ng rent receivable. Yung amount niya is 310. Okay? Sige. Tapos next tayo, depreciation expense, credit accumulated depreciation. This is an example of other valuation adjustments. These are not reversed. Okay? Punta tayong next, insurance expenses. Tapos nag-credit siya ng prepaid insurance. So this is an example of deferral of expenses. So, meron tayong prepaid expenses dito. Nag-credit siya ng prepaid expense, malamang when adjusted, nag-credit siya ng prepaid expense, tapos debit niya insurance expense. So, when adjusted, naka-asset method ba siya? No. Hindi siya naka-asset method when adjusted kasi debit siya ng expense method rather than asset method. So, hindi na to magiging subject to reversal kasi when adjusted, naka-expense method siya. Dapat naka-asset method when adjusted, di ba? So, punta tayong interest receivable, tapos interest revenue. This is an example of accrual of income. Okay? Nasa accrual of income siya. Dito, accrual of income. All accrual should be reversed, di ba, Coach? All accruals should be reversed. So, dapat i-reverse natin yung entry na yon. Debit tayo ng interest revenue. Tapos, credit tayo ng interest receivable to reverse the effect. Okay? So, debit tayo ng interest revenue 225 tapos interest receivable 225 to reverse the effect of the adjusting entries. Sige. Ano pa? Office supplies. Office supplies. And then credit siya ng office supplies expenses. Okay? So office supplies debit, credit siya ng office supplies expense. This is an example of deferral of expenses. Okay? Deferral of expenses. Tingnan nga natin when adjusted, ano yung method na ginamit niya? Expense method ba or asset method? Tingnan natin. Debit siya ng office supplies, credit siya ng office supplies expenses. So nag-debit siya ng office supplies, meaning when adjusted, asset method yung ginamit niya. Okay? Subject ba siya sa reversal, coach? Yes, kasi asset method when adjusted. Okay, so magre-reverse tayo ng entry dito at January 1. So, debit tayo ng office supplies expense 100. Tapos, credit tayo ng office supplies. Okay, magkano yung amount? 100 pesos. Sige. Kung malamang sa malamang, when created, itong office supplies, record siya dito ng expense method when created. Diba? Nag-debit siya ng supplies expense kaagad when created dito. Supplies expense tapos credit siya ng payable. Tapos, when adjusted naman, credit na siya ng asset. Kaya siya subject to reversal. Okay? advances to salesperson, tapos credit siya ng salaries expenses. Okay, so advances to salesperson is an asset. This is an example of deferral of expense when adjusted. Ano yung ginamit niya? Advances to salesperson na debit. So this is an asset method rather than an expense method. Kailangan ba siyang i-reverse, coach? Yes, kasi naka-asset method siya. Naka-asset method siya when adjusted. Okay? We will reverse the effect. Debit tayo ng salaries expenses. Tapos credit tayo ng advances to employees or to salesperson. Worth 300 pesos. Okay? So, madali lang pag-analyze. Basta meron lang tayong illustration, di ba? Meron tayong guide. How about dito? Income tax expenses, tapos income tax payable. This is an example of accrual of expense. Kasi nag-accrue tayo ng income tax payable, tapos debit tayo ng income tax expenses. Okay? So, this is subject to reversal. This is an example of accrual of expense na naka-expense method siya, di ba? So, we will reverse income tax payable as our debit, no? Income tax payable as our debit for 3. Tapos, credit tayo ng income tax expense, which is a credit, no? So, magkano yung amount? 4,300. Tapos na tayong mag-illustrate. Now, dapat alam mo na yung reversing entries. So, makakatulong itong chart na ito para ma-analyze mo kung subject siya sa reversal o hindi. Okay? Ulitin ko, this reversing entries is only an optional step and the last step of the accounting